Welcome back to the Gamer Muscle YouTube channel, where we're jumping back into Project Cars 2 pre-release press version to check out the Rallycross Rally Lite cars, which are basically toned down versions of the crazy Rallycross cars, a bit like a electric toothbrush that needs recharging. Mind you, they still drive sideways, they're all-wheel drive and they're really good fun, and a little bit less of a handful than the full spec Rallycross cars. Now, the track that we've taken them to is the wild Crest Rallycross circuit, which is, as you may have gathered, a Rallycross stage. It's got the old Joker Joker part of the track, and you know, it's what you'd expect from a Rallycross track. It's got some really nice flowing corners to it where you really do have to sort of hook the car up into them and take full advantage of the all-wheel drive of the vehicle, and it's actually quite deceptive in how you have to approach some of the corners to get the speed out of them, whilst also working with the all-wheel drive nature of the cars. Now, we've got the AI on about 95% difficulty here, and as you can see, we've got one AI that's he's drunk his Red Bull, he's turboed off into distance. I guess it's Monster Energy drink, since it's Rallycross. I think they sponsor that. Red Bull's for Formula 1 and jumping off ski slopes with a GoPro camera. So we've got, he's had his Monster Energy drink, he's gone off, and the rest of the AI, I slashed their tyres before the race starts, so they're right behind us. But it took me a good 10 or so laps. This is our second race. It took me a good 10 or so laps to actually get to grips with this car and this track and the approach of it, because it is a totally different approach to driving than track driving, obviously, but the fact that it's off-road, but it's also, these cars are just pretty mental in how you actually get the most out of them, and then you've got the tarmac and the dirt just to spice things up. What I found with this specific vehicle, though, is, as we go for the Joker, is that it's a lot calmer than the top-level Rallycross cars that are in the game. And actually, I find it sort of flows and moves better with the track. I mean, you don't have to be as tentative on the accelerator and brake. And with the Rallycross tracks being as sort of nippy and nimble as they are, I mean, they're only slightly bigger than a go-kart track. It's nice to not have to be concentrating as if you've got, you know, like a rocket ship behind your vehicle. And one of the most tricky things with this Rallycross Lite car and the other Rallycross cars in the game is the lateral grip. If you go into a corner too fast and you lose grip on all four wheels, you will just keep drifting sideways, and it can be really punishing. So learning how to not get into that situation seems to be the crux of it, and it's a lot harder to get into that situation with the Rally Lite cars, making them just a lot more forgiving to drive at a basic level. Now, the guy in front hasn't taken his Joker, so we've effectively won this. You can close the video now if that was why you were watching it. In terms of the graphics, though, actually, one thing really does stand out is the Rallycross tracks. Well, someone's in the wall. Goodbye. The Rallycross tracks look really different from the normal road tracks. Almost like the graphical style of them is quite different. I think they actually look more impressive visually than the normal tracks in Project Cars 2, because you have the sort of dust particles and the effects and the different road surfaces, and everything is a lot more compacted. Maybe it's also the dirt as well, and I don't know, there's something about them that just makes them look a little bit more gritty. I kind of found that in the Codemasters Rally games actually as well. The Rallycross tracks in that looked a lot better in Dirt Rally and in Dirt 4. Obviously in Dirt 4, because the stages in that looked terrible, but in Dirt Rally and Dirt 4 the Rallycross tracks tended to look really nice, even compared to the content in the game. So there's something magical about Rallycross circuit. It's probably because they've got more hedges and more grass near to the circuit. We know that's what I like. So there we go. We've just absolutely destroyed the AI. Definitely need to put them on a harder setting. If you do, I've done other Rallycross races with the other Rallycross cars. I'm not actually recording them. We should do that at some point and put a separate video up. But if you do have the AI on really hard and you're actually close to battling them, it gets 10 times harder, because you can't see anything for a start because of all the dust, and the dust builds up on the windscreen, and then they're banging into you and things. So need a little bit more practice before we try the harder AI, but definitely I think there's quite a bit of replay value out of doing that if you've got the stamina for some punishment. But there you go. That is a first look at the Rallycross Lite cars in Project Cars 2. Let me know in the chat if you want to see more Rallycross driving action, and I'll try and get some for you. We'll be back in VR soon. we're going to put the TV back in the corner of the room and the VR headset back on the face, because that is the best way to play games. But until then, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a cup of tea. We're the best. We won. And, oh, there we go. That's my celebration finish. Until the next video, guys. Thanks for watching and goodbye.